Hi everyone, and welcome to Manufacturing Day. This is always one of our favorite days of the year because it's an opportunity for us to share the passion and excitement that we have for such an amazing industry. Typically, this is something that we do on site, and we love welcoming students to our building, giving them an opportunity to meet with our employees and really understand what it takes to put the Mastercam software together. Instead, we're going to be bringing some manufacturing content to you virtually. As you watch these videos, make sure that you pay attention. We're going to have a quiz at the very end, and that'll be an opportunity for you to win some prizes. And I know we all love prizes. So I hope that you enjoy the content, and welcome to our building. Welcome to CNC Software. We are the makers of Mastercam, the world's most widely used CAM system. You are currently entering our headquarters located here in Tallinn, Connecticut. This is where the majority of our 175 employees are located. We have really embraced our remote working technology, so we do have others scattered around the country, but for the most part, this is really where the magic happens. This building was built in 1999, so we've been here for almost 20 years now. We've got about 50,000 square feet, and we did our best to make it feel a lot more like a home than an office. We figure that makes it a lot more comfortable for our employees to work every day. One of my favorite places to stop here is the museum because this company has a lot of history, and it also happens to be intertwined with my family history. So this right here is a picture of my father and his two brothers. They were the original leaders of this company. My father still is here today as the chairman, and my Uncle Brian runs this company with me as the vice president. This is actually a picture of me sitting on my father's lap at the first computer that was used to really develop this company, and we titled that the first succession planning meeting. Little tongue-in-cheek, but also quite a foreshadowing, that picture. This right here is that same computer, and this is really where the company started. It was the first investment that CNC Software ever made, and it was where Mastercam was developed. So it's a pretty big effort to make sure that Mastercam is produced as well as it can be. So what we've done is implemented a process called Scrum. This is an agile methodology, and it takes all these team members and puts them together and makes sure that they're really communicating and talking and letting each other know what they're doing for the day. We also allowed our teams to co-locate. That helps them communicate, they can talk across the hall to each other, and we've also given them a little bit of liberty to create an office space that is comfortable for them as well. So now we're going into the new addition part of the building, and this is also where we house our manufacturing lab. So let's take a look and see what's in there. So this is where we test out a lot of the software. One of the best parts of being an industry leader is that we get to work with industry leaders. So a lot of the machines that are on the floor here end up getting swapped out on a pretty regular basis. So we work with the newest and the best in the industry. We break tools so that you don't have to. Really, our applications engineers here, I mean, they came from industry. They are used to working in the shop. This is kind of a machinist's dream job because there's really no rush to get parts out the door. Their job is to figure out what doesn't work so that they can tell the programmers how to fix it. One of the other defining factors of CNC Software is the fact that we are very strong with our green initiative. So in this area of the building, we have radiant floor heating. We also use geothermal, and that's how we get our heat. So that means no oil is used in the building at all. We also have a couple of solar arrays, and that powers about 75% of our electricity. We do what we can to reduce our carbon footprint. We feel like it's our responsibility to make sure that we're saving the planet for the next generation. So it takes more than development to get software out the door here. Here we are in our sales and marketing wings. We like to make sure that everybody has a very comfortable working environment here, and one of the ways we do that is by providing equipment. It's often the little things that define culture of a company, and one of the little things that we have is our lime green board. This is an opportunity to get feedback from our employees. We typically put a question at the top of the board, and people walk by throughout the day and they'll give answers to it, and it's always fun to read what they have to say. So teamwork is a core value here at CNC Software as well. And as you can see here, we have everybody that participated in getting the software out the door to sign these posters. We're really proud that everybody pitches in and does their part, and so we like to make sure that that's memorialized right here on the wall. We take work-life balance very seriously here at CNC Software, so while we work incredibly hard, we also play very hard as well. We like to not just support it, but encourage it. Our employees have bikes here, and they take advantage of our location by going out in groups and hitting the trails. We have a lot of groups that go out for a run midday, so it feels a little bit less like lunch here and a little more like recess. But this is part of how we define our success, is when our employees are happy, they're engaged, and they're mentally and physically fit as well. Thank you for joining us on our tour. We at Mastercam create software and services that solve the world's manufacturing challenges and provide our users with the power to shape the future of manufacturing. If you'd like to shape the future of manufacturing with us, for employment opportunities, please visit our website. We're always looking for the best and the brightest. As you might imagine, the building looks a little different these days. We have fewer people walking the hallways, we have fewer in-person meetings. But we've shifted to working remotely and making sure that we're still doing our best to solve the world's manufacturing challenges. And those challenges today are a bit different. We're working to make sure that ventilators are produced. We're working to make sure that doctors, nurses, first responders have the equipment that it requires for them to do their jobs. The manufacturing industry is the unsung hero of these times, and I'd like to take a moment to thank them.
Manufacturing has always supported the world when it matters most, and today is no different. While people on the front lines fight every day to save lives, manufacturers around the globe remain dedicated to supporting the world in its time of need. So this is for the assemblers, machinists, engineers, and every worker in the manufacturing industry. From the companies who responded to meet increased demand, to those who shifted course to face the challenges of a new threat. It is your work ethic, your get-it-done attitude, your reliability, and your hard work that will pull us through this. On behalf of the Mastercam community, thank you for continuing to innovate, create, and solve the world's manufacturing challenges.
It's been amazing to see how manufacturing has really stepped up and helped us through these times. But manufacturing hasn't just been around these last couple of months. It's been around for centuries. And you don't end up in the manufacturing industry without that first initial step. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a woman that I'm incredibly proud to know, somebody that has gotten into manufacturing and has been able to share her passion and her pride for the industry with that next generation as well.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying Mastercam's Virtual Manufacturing Day. I'm Andrea Gellatly from Team Witch Doctor on the TV show BattleBots, where we design and manufacture a 250-pound robot to compete against the best in the world. I first started building robots when I was just 14 years old in the biology class of my high school. I had to learn how to weld, grind, cut metal, connect electronics all at the same time. It was a miracle we even got a robot working, but it absolutely hooked me onto the sport of robotics. Since then, I spent the next 15 years competing all types of robots, ranging from 150 grams up to 250 pounds to compete across the country. This led to an invitation to compete on BattleBots, where we started building Witch Doctor. With Mastercam's help, we've been able to evolve Witch Doctor into the 2019 finalist and the champion of the Amazon All-Stars tournament, beating Bronco and Tombstone in a single night. One of our main goals in competing Witch Doctor is to inspire the next generation of robot builders. To do this, we started a makerspace in our hometown of South Florida, where we teach robot classes and host tournaments to get more kids involved in this sport. As a female captain on BattleBots, I'm competing to prove that robotics is for everybody, regardless of gender. If you're watching this video and you have an interest in robotics, absolutely get involved. It's been the best thing that I've done in my life, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
Thank you, Andrea, for being such an amazing ambassador for this industry, for sharing your passion and igniting it in others. It's been amazing to see how many people are connected to education and that are doing very much the same thing and really igniting that passion in the next generation of manufacturing. But it's always important to make sure that you create that link between education and industry, because that's always the next step. Let's take a look at a company that's doing exactly that.
David loves airplanes, and
Just because you're on the family farm doesn't mean that you sell the family farm and go work in the city. His dad actually is a mechanical engineer, worked on the space race of the 60s, and he kind of followed in his father's footsteps, going to University of Illinois, and he became an aerospace engineer. He did a lot of aeronautical consulting at first, but one of the things that he wanted to do was to be able to build and test things, not just design things. And so he looked around and saw that VU had a really good machining program and thought, you know, we should be able to make things using some of the graduates from VU and other schools in the area.
I think that we solve a lot of fairly difficult problems. So our customers come to us because they know that they can count on us to figure out how to do something, even if it hasn't been done before.
When I first met Penny and Dave, they were in the house across the road. I kind of saw that they had a lot of vision and a lot of excitement for aerospace. I had just come from working at Haas Automation, and I was familiar with the Haas product. I went to school at Vincennes University, and they had Mastercam and Haas, and I could see immediately that I could kind of lend a hand to a company that I thought had some cool potential. It's amazing to me that we could start off in a garage making aerospace parts and then expand to what we are today at Flying S. We started the company with Haas and with Mastercam, and a lot of that had to do with going to Vincennes University and seeing what the students were learning. And then what we found actually was that Mastercam's capabilities absolutely increased as our capabilities increased, and so it's actually been a very organic change. Mastercam, as we started using more 5-axis, Mastercam implemented more 5-axis. As we started needing to do more dynamic work on our molds, Mastercam introduced dynamic years ago. And so every time we think that we would be limited even a little bit by Mastercam, thinking that we would need to invest in a really expensive software, Mastercam comes out with a new change that improves every aspect that we're looking for. That is really cool.
We believe in things that are very real. We don't put up with a lot of fluff, you know, so things need to work and need to really earn their keep.
What separates Flying S from some other shops that I've been to is the amount of investment that the owners put back into the company. They're forward-thinking, progressive, they're focused on the family, focused on the employees, focused on what we're doing, our customers. We're able to produce some really cool parts and be happy about it. Our quality of life at Flying S is phenomenal. It's just a blast.
You know, we can have a fancy big building and we can have the nicest tools available, but really it's all about the people, and so we try to take great care of them.
I'm very proud of the fact that we offer jobs that are challenging and they're purposeful. We're literally building things that go to space. They're things that protect our soldiers' lives, and there's a lot of purpose when you get out of bed to know that you're doing things that really change the world. What we do is cool, but why we do it is kind of really important too, because quite frankly, it would have been a lot easier to stay in my hangar home and David just do design consulting for aeronautical companies. But this is a very rewarding challenge to create jobs, really cool jobs, out of nowhere.
It's amazing to work with companies that understand that Mastercam is not just a product, it's a way of life. It's an opportunity to create careers that are both challenging and purposeful. It starts with education, but it's carried through to industry with passion and with drive. And that has to start with you.
Life is not easy when you're an immigrant, and this is especially true when you find yourself on a different continent, far away from your family and friends. Ahmad grew up in the Middle East and eventually came with his dad to Chicago, leaving his mother and sisters in a refugee camp in Jordan. Ahmad's deep feelings of separation were compounded by an unhappy father that was cruel in his dealings with this young man. But Ahmad was fueled by his love for his mother and the hunger to help the family that he had left behind.
My mother told me the entire time, "You were born to do something. I'm gonna do this. No matter what happens, I will pay for my own college." And I worked 2 jobs and I saved for a year and a half.
And Ahmad worked many jobs as he studied engineering. It was a practical approach to his education that enabled Ahmad to gain hands-on experience using real-world softwares like Mastercam and CAD. And when Ahmad was on co-op, His drive and leadership skills, adaptability, and technical abilities stood out, and the opportunities quickly followed. These real-world opportunities reinforced Ahmad's belief that engineering and manufacturing were the foundation that he needed to push forward in his desire to help his mother and his sister. Ahmad went on to graduate and begin working in the engineering field. He brought his focus, his passion, and his energy to the industry. And as Ahmad looks to the future, he's building a foundation for himself and for his family.
That passion and drive opens doors for you to be able to use your creativity in ways that inspire you. We have companies we're connected to that do anything from music to automotive to aerospace to medical. And the ways that they're able to use that innovation and that creativity, they are thinking outside the box.
What we do here is we do unconventional applications with some things that are maybe seen conventionally in industry. So what's happening here is we're taking a conventional tool, a robot, and a conventional tool in Mastercam, and using them in an unconventional setting. So we're doing 3D printing of homes.
What we're doing here is we are developing a technology and proving a mechanical ability to print a house. Where we are today, we have a machine which will print about 1,200 square feet, and on the board we have a machine which will print close to 2,000 square feet.
In order to be disruptive, you have to figure a way that you can use a tool different from the way other people are using that tool. And what we're doing with Mastercam is we're taking something that is known to be a subtractive machining package, and we're doing an additive process with it. So we're basically reversing the train of thought that most people use the technology for. And it takes really, really good partners like ABB and like Mastercam to make this all happen.
We're generating all of the CNC code for the robot. So we basically create the file, we do the accel, DSLs, the corner control, tool orientations, all of that in Mastercam, just as you would in a machining application, basically.
We have to use a tool set that the average user is going to be able to replicate themselves without needing someone who is drastically versed in that software package, because these aren't going to be machinists that are using this package. These are going to be builders. These are going to be people that maybe don't come from your traditional manufacturing background that are going to be using this technology. We're using a robot that is used in everyday use out there in ABB. We're using software in Mastercam that everybody uses in a shop environment. So keeping it simple, keeping it very, very easy to manipulate your way through the software, that's what's been key for us with this relationship with Mastercam.
Thinking outside the box comes in many different forms. They used to say that the sky is the limit, but that's not the case anymore. We're redefining boundaries, redefining what the limits are. From the camera on your phone to the camera on the Mars rover, Mastercam makes these ideas a reality.
OptiPro's been around since 1982, and in the late 80s we got an opportunity to work with Eastman Kodak Company and the University of Rochester in Apoma to develop new grinding and polishing technology for precision optics. It was actually an offshoot of what we were doing already in machining machine tools with Mastercam, so the situation changed where we needed additional capabilities, so additional machine motion, 5-axis, simultaneous motions, and the software to drive it. So that's really where Mastercam came in. It was giving us that capability to make these complex shapes with these machines that we were building.
OptiPro builds CNC grinding and polishing machines. The different industries that use our equipment that you might be familiar with are medical industry, space, military. An example of the medical industry would be the instruments that doctors use to perform surgery inside of your body so that they're able to look inside without actually having to make a large incision. So it's a much smaller camera lens that they're using. From the lenses on the Mars rover to the lenses in your cell phone camera, our technology helps other companies make those systems work.
Our primary goal is for us in service is get to the customers as soon as possible and make sure that they're out there making money for their customers. I love the fact that I can work here because we have something that challenges us every single day. I'm a service technician. I drive out to all my customers. I don't do the same thing every day. OptiPro gives me plenty of opportunities to broaden my horizons and take on new responsibilities, new challenges every day, and I've been doing it for over 30 years and I couldn't think about doing anything different.
Another thing we do at OptiPro is we sell Mastercam. It's a CAD CAM software we use to run our machines. Our optics side of our machines use Mastercam heavily, and so does our machine tool side of our business. They use Mastercam a lot. It makes our company go.
It's been a huge game changer for these companies, and now it's not the small companies, it's the big companies that that are using the Mastercam products, and that's because of a couple things. Again, it's because of the service and support that OptiPro gives, but it's also about having the right software package, and Mastercam certainly has been in the package to get our customers to be successful. If our customers are successful, then they come back and buy more. So the Mastercam's been a big part of our growth, from not just using it to help our customers, but also to help us be able to machine our products faster. We're using dynamic milling now for making our parts, and we've got a head for our ultrasonic machine that we've taken the time from 13 hours down to 2.
My dad started OptiPro in 1982. It's incredible to know that our machines help produce products that end up in Mars, that end up in surgical rooms, saving lives, that end up on military helicopters and planes, protecting our soldiers' lives and our lives. That's really most rewarding part of my job.
I am totally convinced that tools like Mastercam, our products, our OptiPro products, that's what's going to keep manufacturing strong in the U.S.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you guys had a great time and a great peek into manufacturing. It was an honor to be able to share our passion with you and give you an insight into some of the opportunities in this amazing industry. I hope you paid attention because we do have that quiz coming. Make sure that you open it up, take that quiz for a chance to win some great prizes. And just remember, this is all up to you. If you have an interest, I hope that this sparked something. If you have a passion, understand that you have so many options in the world of manufacturing. We hope to see you again soon.